Good evening, Sports Outlet Show family. What is going on this Wednesday evening? I'm Joe Wagner, your host, alongside my host, Brent Allegra and Brayden Wilkins. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this wonderful Wednesday night?
I'm doing great, doing great. The NFL season is coming to an end. The college football playoffs are upon us, coming up here soon, and we have 44-year-old quarterbacks making returns as well. So doing well here.
Anything's possible. Brayden, is Brian Wilkins looking to suit up for the Colts this weekend?
He just might be only just under 10 years older than Phillip Rivers. So it's possible. Anything's possible at this point.
I think anything is possible at this point, Brayden. I appreciate you sharing the news, but your dreams are still possible when you're a grandpa. So please remember that. I think, he's been watching Bronny and LeBron. He wants to do that, but with his grandchildren. So Phillip Rivers, welcome back to the NFL, resetting your Hall of Fame 5 years back. Probably a smart move considering the people he graduated out with. It's like trying to fit that gap of, all right, I'm going to let the Tom Brady's, Drew Breeses of this world by, and it's not time for the Mahomeses and the Allens of the world yet. So maybe he knows what he's doing.
I didn't even think about that, but that's honestly pretty smart.
Yeah,
honestly, he's not the Colts quarterback that I was gonna get excited about if they unretired Andrew Luck. If Andrew Luck came out of retirement and started playing, I'd be jazzed. But I don't think Phillip Rivers is doing anything at 44, especially since he hasn't played since 2020.
Well, apparently he runs the Colts playbook for his high school team.
I did hear that.
So man's got it in the back of his brain already. So here we go. Phillip Rivers ready to go. Carson said he's picking him up in fantasy. Big week to pick him up. It's a playoff weekend starting in the league. That phrasing. My header. Is it 2026? Are we there yet? We're
close.
We need to get there. But before we could, guys, breaking news as about 3 hours ago today, Sherrone Moore, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, fired for cause today. We won't get into the specifics. Feel free to dive in deep into Twitter, Google, whatever internet source you want to use. But we're just here to say the facts behind the Michigan head coach is gone. This is a interesting time to join the head coaching search. And we've put another wrinkle in the NCAA with this head coach carousel. It's another thing to do. But obviously some standing head coach is going to be taking over this program. The question is, who is it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not ideal, especially this late, I feel like. But based on the news that broke, it kind of seemed like something like this had to be done. We're not going to get into the specifics of that. But I am interested to see who they target because, like you said, there's not any great candidates out there. They'd likely have to search on an existing team. So very interested to see what Michigan does here.
Yeah, we just settled the Penn State situation that we talked about last week, and now there's another wrench into the carousel. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets poached from where.
Just probably has to be the craziest coaching carousel to ever happen. I'm not sure. I was talking a little bit today. Brent and Brayden and I were talking in the group chat. I'm not sure of what the actual results are. When it comes to a head coach firing, typically the 30-day transfer window opens for these players. I know that's typically an in-season effect. I'm not sure what the offseason rule is. Signing day was just a couple days ago. What happens with those recruits? Are they able, now that they're signed, are they able to hit the transfer portal? Can they still decommit? A lot of questions to be answered that I don't have, but probably here next week we'll have some more clarification as they dive into the NCAA rule book. But expect a ton of recruits, a ton of people. And Bryce Underwood, the former number 1 overall recruit, could he be heading somewhere else? So many questions to answer, and Michigan needs to figure out that answer quickly rather than later, especially with that Big Ten program. So that's all we're going to say on that. Again, just blitzing through the facts, but this is what we're here to talk about today. The college football playoff reactions breakdown. How'd the committee do? Did they get it right? Are the correct teams in? So much to break down here today. The college football playoff is set. 12 teams are there, 2 groups of 5. there is an ACC representation, guys, with Miami, Florida. That's probably what we're going to spend the most time on today. But let's start here first in the top four, shake up just a little bit between these four teams. Brent, break down those four teams and what you're seeing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Indiana starts us off at number 1, getting the huge Big Ten championship win this past weekend. Obviously, huge for Curt Cignetti. Like that hire, I mean, has to be one of the best I've seen in college football personally. Obviously, you have your Nick Sabans of the world, your Kirby Smarts of the world, but Curt Cignetti was laughed at the time. There were memes about him. I know at that basketball game when he first got hired, saying that like Michigan was no competition, Penn State was no competition. Well, it turned out to be true. So Indiana, awesome. Hats off to them for beating Ohio State there. Ohio State comes in at number 2. Honestly, I still think they are the best team in college football, but had to rank them number 2 after that loss. I think Indiana had a little bit more to play for in that Big Ten championship, so I think Indiana might be fighting a little bit harder if it comes down to a national championship. And then rounding us out, you have Georgia at number 3 with a big win over Alabama in the SEC championship, and then Texas Tech as well, getting the best of BYU in the Big 12 championship. So a really, really solid top 4, if you ask me. I think any of these teams have a fair shot at winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great breakdown from you, Brent. There was questions about could Ohio State and Georgia flip at that 2 and 3 spot for them. I like the call by the committee there. I think a conference championship loss looks better on a resume to the number 1 now team in the nation rather than a regular season loss at home to Alabama. I think the committee absolutely gets this right. Brayden, looking at those games that are coming here just in a couple days down the stretch, obviously these are home campus site games for Oregon, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and A&M. Break me down here which matchup you're closely paying attention to and maybe an upset that could be coming here next week.
Yeah, let's look at the 2 closer seeded ones first. Alabama and Oklahoma. That's going to be a rematch from earlier this season. This one's going to be in Norman. That's going to be super exciting for that matchup. That one's going to be, we saw it before. We'll see it again here in this season. And then we got Texas A&M and Miami. We'll talk a little bit more about the circumstances that led to Miami getting in. But Texas Tech, they've been very solid so far in the season, other than dropping that loss against Texas right at the end. So that game's going to be close as well. Miami disrespected a little bit after their 2 conference losses against 8-4 SMU and 8-4 Louisville. So people might be sleeping on them a little bit. And then the other 2, we had 2 group of 5 teams in JMU and Tulane taking on Oregon and Ole Miss. So those games will be fun.
Yep. There's no realm of the world where an 8-5 Duke team. Congratulations on winning the ACC championship, and thank you here from Blacksburg as well. You've saved our hearts, our souls, our lives. We got to not be the laughingstock any longer. And then great Virginia representation there from James Madison as well, just 2 hours up north from here. Should be interesting how they play this incredible Oregon team. They probably got the toughest draw of them all there in the first round. But Tulane maybe being able to do something in Oxford, but we'll see a lot of shifting over there in Ole Miss. So it should be a fun weekend. Brent was touching on this a little bit last week and in our conversations this week about people wanting to have Alabama out of the bracket. Brent, what's your reaction on that?
Yeah, I think that's just ridiculous in my opinion. I know I think they have 3 losses now with their SEC championship loss. But if you just look at their schedule in its entirety, like they really don't have any bad losses on their resume. Yes, they did not look very competitive in that Georgia game, but like we just said, Georgia is one of the best teams in the nation. They got that top 4 spot for a reason, and Alabama can contend with the best of them. So I totally agree with them slotting in there at number 9.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could have made the possible case for them to drop to 10, but I think it went back to what we're probably going to spend 30 minutes talking about here, guys, about putting 2 teams directly right next to each other Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, are the first team out. BYU right behind them. And a lot of people had a lot of things to say about the committee, about did they get this right? What the heck happened in one single week? And we're going to break it all down here for you. But this is the devil's advocacy or playing both sides, right, of Notre Dame declining an invitation to a bowl game, missed the college football playoffs. Oh my, there's a lot to break down here. Okay. It's this simple. The committee got it right, but they did it the wrong way. At the end of the day, yes, Miami is a better team than Notre Dame. It's that simple. We play the games on turf or grass. Not all stadiums have turf. We play it in between the lines, right? But this is just ridiculous with the fact that everything that's happened from Notre Dame, and I'm going to tell you why. They declined an invitation to a bowl game, likelihood of them playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is the People's National Championship. In my opinion, it's the greatest bowl game you can play. It's the greatest bowl game you can play. It's that simple. But Notre Dame, Miami, they played a game. Miami won. It was week 1. Notre Dame did rail off 10 straight wins. Miami, Brayden mentioned those 2 losses, right? But here is the thing that bugs me the most, is the fact that talking about declining a bowl game as the number, 13 team in the country. That doesn't happen. And it's disgusting, in my opinion. There needs to be a precedent, a rule set in place. We can go back to 2023, 2 years ago, when Florida State got kicked out because their quarterback, Jordan Travis, tears his ACL. They use that as a precedent, right, of year after year, this is the case. They go out there with their B and C squad, get embarrassed in the Orange Bowl by Georgia, and lose by 60 points. You can play the other side of that, right? You have the Georgia Bulldogs, who lost the SEC championship by 3 points, by the way, were undefeated before that, drop out of the college football playoff. They still go and play a bowl game. Notre Dame is too good for a bowl game. They don't decide to play. Again, I'm saying Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's speculation, assuming they were going to play BYU in that. You could have gone and made your case to the committee, go and embarrass BYU, the second team out, saying we should have been in here. And that's simple. Notre Dame's AD continues this conversation, saying that the ACC has done irreparable damage. Hey, join our conference full time. Join the conference full time. If you want to be treated like a full-time player, join the conference full time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You're pissed off that Miami was getting advocacy as well as Duke. Well, maybe it's because they're in the ACC in all our sports. Should Notre Dame join a conference? Is it time?
Yes,
but they won't.
It should be required. Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, yes, Notre Dame is at fault in this, but I really feel like there needs to be a requirement. If you are a Power 4 team, especially to the degree that Notre Dame is, you need to be in a conference. Like it's not fair. Obviously, like last year, I feel like they had a case to not make it as well, but they did get in last year. This year, I thought it was going to happen again. I'm honestly shocked that they made the move to Miami.
Yep,
with the way the rankings were just last week. So they made the right call. You're right there. I do want to stress that I think this came from the higher ups. I think this came from the athletic department, from the AD. I know there was stuff floating out there that this was a team decision. I don't think that's true. Knowing Marcus Freeman as a head coach, I don't think he would sign up for that personally.
He's a competitor.
He's a competitor. He loves to compete. I don't think the seniors would sign up for this. I think they want to play in a bowl game as their last game. I actually feel bad that they're not able to. But yeah, it's ridiculous that they declined this. It's terrible.
Yep. I advocate with you on that, Brent. Like, I'm not thinking about the Jeremiah Love or players like that are going to the NFL tomorrow, right? I'm thinking about the guy that's about to be looking on Indeed, on LinkedIn. Like, no jokes aside, with people saying go get a LinkedIn job, whatever. The fact that he's been playing blank amount of years, probably a fourth-year senior, whole time at Notre Dame, was loyal to the program, and season ends in a snap, thinking you're going to the college football playoff, thinking there's no way in heck it's ever over, and now it is. And it's embarrassing. It's detrimental to the sport. There's one simple, easy fix for not just for Notre Dame, but for any team that is bowl eligible. It's called 6 wins or above. If you decline to play a bowl game for a reason that's besides half your team got the flu and can't play, which we saw half of Florida State's roster leave and still field a team two years ago when they actually got screwed out of a college football playoff spot, you should be ineligible for postseason play next year. I'm talking bowl games, college football playoff, conference championships. It's that simple. This is crap. This is crap.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I would exempt like the 5 and 7 teams that declined because
Correct.
they were forced in. Those teams, they already disassembled their roster and everything because they didn't expect to play. So I would make that exemption, but otherwise I completely agree.
And to kick this off with not just our cupcake of a 2026 schedule, we can talk all day about that, and we'll talk about it in our college football preview as well, talking about Notre Dame, right? It's a cupcake 2026 schedule, but they have a guaranteed bid if they're in the top 12. Did you guys see that memento?
Yep.
What are we doing? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. This is embarrassing.
Something's got to change.
I'm with you, Joe, and I'm with Notre Dame's AD on one thing. Those Tuesday selection shows, they really shot themselves in the foot. The committee did.
Correct.
Putting Notre Dame down there, and you have all those kids thinking that they're going to be playing the college football playoffs. They're inactive. They should be a shoo-in, and then you go and flip the rankings correctly. You do correctly flip the rankings.
Correct.
But those kids aren't expecting that, and that's got to hurt.
No, that's a 1,000,000% what I will side with on Notre Dame is yes, you got screwed like with this ranking. Says you weren't supposed to be here, but based on prior knowledge, didn't play a game. Everybody was sitting on their couch. That's the only part where I do feel for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Like, I'm not a heartless person. It just upsets me that you're declining something that all of America would have wanted to watch. The Pop-Tarts Bowl between you and BYU, that would have, in my opinion, had more views than Tulane, Ole Miss, JMU, Oregon football when they play that game, right? It's a showcase to show the committee what you had as well of if they go out there and beat BYU by like 40 of like, hey, man, what the heck? And especially if Miami goes out and loses. But I do feel for that point as well. And I think that is correct that Notre Dame, based on prior history, should have – I mean, I'm shocked, Brayden, you saw they were minus like 3,000 10 minutes before on DraftKings, and DraftKings can't fit in the human element of things. So it's crazy, but at the same time, just absolutely wow. But, again, declining the bowl game is where I have the real problem.
Right. And, I mean, like, as podcasters – personally, we love the weekly rankings because we can speculate on them and we can talk about them. But I see where some people are coming from, where if you delay the rankings and just let it all unfold at the end, you probably save yourself some of these arguments, some of these disagreements. So I do see where Notre Dame's coming from that perspective. But then again, don't be babies about it. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna leave it at.
Well, I mean, if you do that point where you go to the very end and then have the selection show, everybody's ticked that a 3-loss Alabama's here. So, and then we play that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can lose in every scenario, but in my opinion, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the College Football Committee did it perfect. This is a perfect bracket, 100% slated correctly. I understand the process was not correct to get there, but you got there, and that's what matters, and let's play some football.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it.
But I don't know. I had to speak my mind.
Yeah, and I want to say something about the people that suggest that group of 5 inclusion should be like removed entirely. There has to be a reason the group of 5 plays for the chance to just get into the playoffs. Upsets happen, guys. Appalachian State, FPS at the time, beat Michigan. The 9-7 New York Giants beat the undefeated Patriots. You got UVA versus UMBC, Purdue versus Fairleigh Dickinson. They do happen. The point is not for
Boise was close last year.
Exactly.
They're close.
Exactly. The point is not for these teams to go out and win the national championship. It's to go out and do the impossible and win in the first round. and just to have that exposure for their schools, for the smaller guys. So it's just not Power 4, even coming down to Power 2 at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brayden. I love seeing Power 4 and Group of 5 teams getting to play together. I think this year we've already shown that we're going to a 16-team playoff, which in my opinion is going to be too much. But at that point, you might as well throw the top 25 in there or whatever it is. But
March Madness for football.
Dude, that'd be crazy. Players would opt out so quickly that are going to the NFL if they had to play 7 games to win a natty.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there. But anyways, that is the college football playoff reactions and breakdown. No, we're not going to dive into these matchups this week. We will next week prior to those kicking off. So we'll make sure we get you that full analysis and everything to go here. So don't be alarmed. We promise that we're coming back with it. But want to make sure that we talk about one of the biggest parts of the day, or the week, excuse me. You may have seen the 2026 World Cup bracket has been, I say created, there's some TBDs in there, but has been created for the most part. Let's go ahead and pull it up here, fellas. FIFA World Cup 2026 being hosted in USA, Canada, and Mexico host cities. A lot of things to break out here, guys, but obviously you stare straight at Group D. You see USA, Paraguay, and Australia, and a player to be named still. Couple finals and championships that need to be played to get these final spots. But we have 12 groups for the first time, 48 teams. There's going to be more soccer than ever before in the World Cup, kicking off on Thursday, June 12th, Mexico versus South Africa in Mexico City Stadium. And this will all conclude on Sunday, July 19th at MetLife over there in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But very curious to get your guys' opinions on this bracket. First appearance teams, first of all, is going to be Cape Verde. You have Curacao, Jordan, and Uzbekistan. They will all be first-time World Cup teams, possibly a few more in those TBD rankings. But Brent, Brayden, just a quick overview, guys. I think we tell the people that we might do a college summer super series for some World Cup teams right before we get there. I think it turn into a soccer podcast a little bit and make sure that, because I need to know how to pronounce people's names.
Yeah, I think the U.S. especially got a pretty favorable draw. Obviously, Paraguay and Australia are in our group, and then the UEFA Path C playoff winner, which could be, I think it's Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, or Kosovo. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. See, we need to know how to pronounce the countries too.
Yeah, countries, players. I want to be sitting there at midnight when, let's just stare here and find Uzbekistan and TBD play, and I want to know who their star forward is that just started playing when they were 3, and then their goalie that's been there since they were 12. I need to know it all. I got to know every fact.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think U.S. drew a favorable group this time around. So obviously, hopeful that we can make it past the group stage here. But I'm really looking forward to the World Cup.
Brayden, as you are staring through this, feel free to take a moment as well if you're not fully aware of all of these groups. Who's the group of death this season?
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple. Not one is sticking out to me immediately as they have in tournaments past. I'm looking at Group I, France, Senegal, and Norway. Group F, Netherlands, Japan, and Tunisia. None of those guys are really that big of powerhouses. Netherlands, they have been in the past, but that's a pretty tough group there. That should be pretty even. And then Group G, between Belgium, Egypt, and Iran. I think that's a pretty good group as well.
Yeah, Brayden, I actually disagree with you. The first one I actually stared at is Group L, between England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Obviously, England always saying they're going to win it this time. They won't, but they say every year that they're going to go win the World Cup. Croatia, obviously, I'm not sure if Modric is playing. I'd have to double check my facts on that, but Croatia is always a team that makes it to the group of 16. They had that final run just a few World Cups ago. And then you have Ghana and Panama, right? Panama is always a stickler. They're always around and playing for that second spot. And then Ghana as well in the past has had some history in the World Cup. Just excited to see all four of those teams compete. I think that's my group of death for sure.
Yeah, you got to feel for Ghana. They're always in those group of death conversations. They always get pretty rough draws.
It's because they're also just a great soccer team at the end of the day. So, Brayden, Brent, when you're looking at this, last question about the World Cup, and we'll move on here. But what team do you see through this group that probably has the easiest path in their group into the round of 64 or 32? Excuse me.
I really am going to stick with my guns here. I think the USA really has truly a favorable draw. Paraguay, Australia, I think they've actually beaten both of those teams already this year. If I read what I'm reading correctly on ESPN. So I really think that US can maybe make a little bit of a run, because in years past they haven't been able to do that. So we'll see what can happen, but hopefully our Super Bowl isn't a USA England draw like it was last year or last time around.
I'm hoping you're right there, Brent. I would love USA to just blow through that group, so we don't have to sweat it all. But I'm looking at Group E, Germany. They've underperformed their past two World Cups, but I think that's a walk in the park for them. I think they get 9 easy points there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say, Brayden. I think Germany has the easiest path on that portion, but I just really enjoy. It's the one. Brayden knows this about me. Brent knows about this about me. We're all soccer players. We all love playing soccer. It's easily our main sport, right? When we were growing up, playing Bryson high school ball. But this is the only time I watch soccer. Is international. I don't watch the million words of things I probably can't pronounce. I don't watch it league play, MLS. I don't watch that crap. Everybody flops, and it's just not for me. But international, you're playing for your country. Everything's on the line. Sign me up for more as well. I love that this is 48 teams.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for the summer. Finally have something to watch in the summer besides
That's true.
baseball.
That also helps. I think that also helps. But awesome. That concludes our World Cup breakdown and banter. Let's go ahead and keep moving here. We're going to the NFL segment, right? That's next on the agenda. Let me look. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be wrong. Brayden, what do you think it is?
Surely it's the NFL.
No, Brayden, come on. You know why the people are here. Viewership just spiked 300%.
They knew it's
okay, fine. I give. It's the Blind Top 10. Everybody's here. Welcome back to our Blind Top 10. We do it every single episode. It seems to be a fan favorite. That's why we always keep bringing it back. So in today's Blind Top 10, we have, it goes with the spirit of the season, the spirit of the year, right? You walk outside, you see Christmas lights, you're hearing some jolly tunes, all these sort of things. But one of my favorite things about Christmas is Christmas films. But we are doing the Blind Top 10 animated Christmas films. Please look fully at those 3 words. They are important, and you'll find out why just here in a minute. No speaking about what you think might be coming, but Brent, Brayden, please try and figure out who's going first.
I don't know.
I'm confident that it's you this time.
I think it is me. I know I've watched a few Christmas films that are animated, but I don't know how many, if I'll know all of these. I hope I do. I do know what's number 1.
I will give you one hint, and I have only not seen one of these.
Okay, that's good.
If that helps. So that should help you a little bit.
I know what is number 1, and I think Brayden does too, but we're not going to say it. We're not going to say it.
All right. Here we go, gentlemen. Who's going first for me?
It's me.
All right, Brent. At number 1, could be controversial, so maybe you can fight me on this, but you can fight ChatGPT as well if you think it's wrong. But we do have Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Maybe could be seen as a Halloween movie as well. A little scary. Maybe. I don't. I think I've only seen this once. I'll be honest, guys.
What?
Yeah, and I don't remember it very well, but I've heard it's a pretty good film. Pretty good film. I'm gonna put it at 5.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I think that's a safe spot for it.
Brayden, do you think it's what do you think it is? Halloween or Christmas movie?
I think it's a good transition movie. It's something you watch in between, maybe like the first day of November. It's a good movie for that.
Wow, it's almost like you did that at our house or something. At number 2, you have A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Love me some Charlie Brown. When I think of Charlie Brown, I think more of Thanksgiving, though. You think of the Great Pumpkin, but Charlie Brown, he's a cool guy. I think I can think of 4 movies better than it, though. So I'm going to slot it here at number 6.
I must say I didn't really watch Charlie Brown at all.
See, like, I'm not the only one that hasn't watched anime.
At number 3, we have, this is the one I haven't seen. It's called Arthur Christmas.
I have no idea what that is. I'm going to be honest. Brayden, do you know?
No, if I had to guess, I'd say it's like the Arthur the Aardvark kind of guy.
Here, let me give you the brief synopsis from Netflix. At Santa Claus's super secret toy making facility, Mr. Claus entrusts his son Arthur to carry out an ultra important Christmas mission.
That's a good synopsis.
Thank you. I read it off from Netflix.
I'm putting it at 10 because I have no idea what it is.
Good shot.
Maybe it should be our job to watch it this Christmas.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I need to watch a lot of movies. I did bad in the Halloween ones too.
At number 4, we have, and this is, I'm interested to see this. He is a mean one. You have the Grinch.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be number 2 or number 3 for me. I love the Grinch.
Wait. I have a question. Is this the Jim Carrey one?
It is not. It is animated. Animation.
See, I haven't even seen the animated one.
It's the same storyline, Brent.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 3 here. The Grinch is just such an iconic character. He's awesome. We love the Grinch.
Dun. You're a mean one. Dude, I like that one. I hear someone screaming at the house, by the way, that it's at 3 and not 1. Brayden. I can hear it through the noise-canceling headphones.
I think I heard it too. I think it might have come through your headphones a little bit.
At number 5, and this goes back to the conversation, right? It's at animated Christmas films. Films does not always mean movies. I mean, it does. Maybe it does. But this is my top 10. I made it. So you have A Very Merry SpongeBob Christmas.
Wait.
You're kidding me.
Okay, wait.
It's the one where Mr. Krabs goes like, this first Christmas, like the very first Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Like
I've
that.
seen this.
There you go.
So this was like a Christmas show.
Yes, it is a TV show.
Okay. Love me some SpongeBob. Pretty good. I know SpongeBob was in a previous top 10. We ranked it pretty high. I'll be honest. I just don't think there's a lot of Christmas animated films out there that I'm gonna love. So I'll put it at 4.
This is one of my favorites. I like this one. At number 6, Brayden, you have an instant classic. You have Frosty the Snowman.
Okay. I was thinking this is one of my top 4 for sure. But I know what's coming, so unfortunately I have to put it at 7.
I screwed it up.
It's okay. We're alive. We're fine.
At number 8, he likes to play Monopoly. You have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yep, I do love me some Rudolph. That's for sure. It is one that I've seen multiple times, especially as a kid. That this is one of the animated movies I know. I'm gonna put it at 2. Gotta go 2 here.
I like it. And Jay threw us for a loop with SpongeBob in there.
He
Not
did.
that it's not a good
Oh,
one.
did I? Oh,
We were
did
just
I?
surprised.
Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. For this one, you have Disney specific A Christmas Carol.
I don't think I've seen the animated version of A Christmas Carol. It's interesting.
It's very old. It's very old.
Oh, is this? Never mind. I'm thinking of A Christmas Story. I have seen A Christmas Carol. I'll go number 8.
All right.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge. Bah humbug.
Brayden's a Scrooge.
What?
Wow, 1 and 9 available. You guys are holding out for something. I want
Carson's not liking my takes.
SpongeBob over Nightmare Before Christmas. This guy stinks.
Hey, that's a SpongeBob reference.
I know.
Yeah.
My leg. My leg.
Oh,
At
Fred.
number 9, we have. I wouldn't be surprised if Brent hasn't seen this one. We have Rise of the Guardians.
I haven't.
That is the one with the Jack Frost and Santa and Sandman's on there. Sandman's on there.
I have not seen it, and I have a feeling I know what the last one is, so it has to go at number 1. So I'm putting this at number 9.
What if he just didn't put it on the list, Brent? What if he just didn't put it on there?
He couldn't do that to us. This is my favorite Christmas movie.
Brayden, is this your favorite Christmas movie?
It is. If it's what it should be, I watch it every year.
Oh, boys.
Oh, no.
Boys.
Oh, thank God.
You got it. Dude, when I saw Polar Express pop out at 10 for the random line generator, I went, oh, no.
We're not that dumb.
We
Wow.
know.
That's impressive. The only thing you're wrong in is the Grinch is top 2 and it's not 2. The Grinch is my favorite movie.
No.
The Jim Carrey version is my favorite Christmas movie.
The Jim Carrey version is good. I still put Polar Express ahead of it. I
agree.
It just gives the Christmas feel. It gives me the tingling in my bones. I love it so much.
I'm switching Frosty the Snowman and SpongeBob, and I'm happy.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
Back when it was like claymation films. This is
Mhm.
how they
Yeah.
used to do all, dude, that's crazy. Back in the 1960s.
They're pretty good movies, though. Obviously I remember Rudolph a little bit better than Frosty, but they're good movies. They don't make them like they used to.
They don't make them like they used to. I very, very, very much enjoy The Grinch. So that's it's always one of the first ones I like to watch. But you throw the word animated out when it comes to Christmas movies, and it's a whole different ball game. So that seems a little rough. Maybe next week. Who knows? Who knows what's coming next week? Only me and my beautiful wife Kelby know. So, that's it. But great top 10 there. Grinch should be 1, but it's okay. It's the season of giving and forgiving. So I forgive you guys for not putting Grinch at 1. But what can you do about it? You know what I can do about it? Joe's 2-minute drill. It's back. People wanted it. I read the 0 comments. It said 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. I don't know how to do this one. There was a lot of games this year. Jeez, I'm thinking about Christmas and
I think there were 4 teams on bye, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've been doing this mostly when there's been 6 and 8. So
True. You've had to change your cadence.
Hey man, you know what they say? Greatness never sleeps. Joe's 2-minute drill never sleeps. Let's see what we can do. Oh, first, before we get there, Bandit wanted to say hi.
He can just
Hi,
do
Bandit.
it for you.
He can do it. All right. I can't. You got to stand.
Oh, there he is.
Nice.
Welcome to Joe's
Bill
Top
Belichick.
10. Welcome to 2-minute drill.
Bill Belichick.
Oh, he got nervous. I'm sorry. He got nervous.
Stage fright.
But Bandit making his appearance. He's got his dog bed in here. He's good to go. But enough about that. Oh, hi. Let's do it. Whew. Y'all ready? 3, 2. We had Cowboys Lions in action. Gibbs scores 3 touchdowns, 120 yards from scrimmage, and Dak throws 2 interceptions. And Lions Thursday night football win. Lions go to 8-5. Big show to next week. Dolphins Jets here. This is an embarrassment in Jets home stadium. Jalen Wright steps up with the A-Chain's injury. 24 carries, 170 yards, and a touchdown, with Brady Cook making his NFL debut with 2 interceptions. Saints Bucks. Thank you, Saints. Saints and Tyler Shuck. Oh my goodness, they shocked the Bucks. Shucks runs it in for 2 touchdowns. Neal adding a score. Baker cannot get it done on final drive. Tied with the Panthers first in NFC South. Jaguars Colts here. Unfortunately, Jones ruptures his Achilles out for a year, but we have Phillip Rivers. What do we need here? Lawrence and Etienne combined for 4 touchdowns in this win. What a great game for the Colts. Not the Colts, for the Jaguars, but we have Titans, we have Browns here. Sanders throws for 364 and still takes an L. Pollard ran 25 times, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Vikings, Commanders. Vikings just blanked the Commanders, 0 points here. 100-yard kickoff return over here for the Seahawks, 37-9. What an absolute win for that. We have Buffalo. We have Cincinnati. Buffalo wins a shootout in the snowstorm. Allen scores 4 touchdowns. Burrow throws for 4, but those 2 late picks cost them deeply. Broncos Raiders here. What an absolute amazing game. R.J. Harvey takes over the backfield, 75 yards and a touchdown. Bowers adds a touchdown as well. Kenny Pickett is gambling in Vegas. Rams Cardinals. Rams MVP offense destroys Arizona. Stafford throws for 281, 3 touchdowns. Puka and Blake Corum are here to stay. Michael Wilson absolutely goes nuts this week as well. Final game here, Chargers, Eagles. Brayden, duck your head. Jalen Hurts, 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions. Herbert survives the pass rush, but does not like post-game interviews. Back to you at the table, Brent.
Not bad, not bad. 151.
All right,
Within 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds.
We got into a bit of a fumble there at the Jags game, but we recovered. We recovered. That's what matters.
Maybe if you took a brief pause just to do the shadur for 5 seconds, I think you would have been golden.
But sorry. So is this how you do it, or is this how you do it?
Oh,
Wow.
Got him.
hey, I personally appreciate shadur for that. Obviously, Titans were in that number 1 pick spot, but Giants jumped them, baby. We got to hang on to that number 1 pick.
I just got too excited about Tyler Shuck. I just got too excited.
He honestly, being
Don't say it.
dead serious, I think he's pretty decent.
He looks good.
I like him. I think he's had some good games in there. Interested to see how he builds on it, but not the worst rookie season I've seen. That's for sure.
I was told, by the way, in the comments by Maddie that I have to get banned at some public speaking practice. Where can one do that for dogs?
On the pod, right here.
On the podcast. Hey, no, he's by the door.
It's okay.
I was waiting for him to give us a skull chant or something
You just see him jump in the background going. We'd be famous. That's how you get your podcast out there.
Absolutely.
Not my best 2 minutes, but a little rusty. We didn't have it last week with all the college football chat. Got to get back in rhythm. But 3 games you obviously didn't see there in the top, the 2 minutes there. Steelers, Ravens. Brayden, kick us off here and what happened in Baltimore.
Yeah, what a huge game in the NFC North. The Steelers win 27-22, and they now control their own destiny as they can take control of the North. And Baltimore feels cheated out of what felt like a must-win game. For the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers went 23 for 34, 284 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, and 1 controversial reception for -9 yards. Baltimore defenders ripped the ball out of Rodgers' hands for what was originally ruled an interception. After review, the officials said Rodgers was down by contact. The running game continues to be an issue for Pittsburgh. Gainwell, Warren, and Johnson combined for 32 yards on 14 carries. But they were utilized much better in the receiving game. Jalen Warren had a 38-yard receiving touchdown. DK Metcalf was great. Felt like he had 1 million targets. In reality, he had 7 catches on 12 targets for 148 yards. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 19 for 35, 219 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, and 1 interception in the second quarter for the game's only turnover. Derrick Henry ran 25 times for 98 yards. Zay Flowers had 124 receiving yards, and Isaiah Likely had 4 catches, 25 yards, and 1 touchdown. John Harbaugh thinks there should have been 1 more catch and 1 more touchdown on his stat sheet. With just under 3 minutes remaining in the game, the Ravens were driving. Lamar Jackson throws over the middle to Isaiah Likely in the end zone for what is initially ruled a touchdown. After review, it's ruled incomplete, sparking controversy across the league. But guys, in my opinion, it's the right call. First of all, just look at Isaiah Likely's reaction. After the catch, he jogs away with his head down, away from his teammates. He half-heartedly celebrates only after the ref signals touchdown. Does that look like a man who just scored the go-ahead touchdown in a heated, must-win divisional matchup and one of the biggest rivalries in the sport? I don't think so. So he knows it wasn't a catch. But luckily, we don't have to rely on that. We can look at the rule book. A catch has 3 elements: secure, control, prior to the ball touching the ground. Check. He did have control. Touches the ground in bounds with both feet or any part of his body other than his hands. Check. He had 2 feet. But this is the key. After, keyword after, both A and B have been fulfilled. Another keyword, clearly performs any common act of the game. Extending the ball forward, take an additional step, tuck the ball, turn up field, survive the ground, what we call a football move. That he didn't have. He caught the ball at full extension, did not get that final step down, did not make a football move, and lost the ball before the 3rd step. So it's incomplete. So unfortunate for the Ravens, but I think it was the right call. There's other controversial calls to look at. The Rodgers catch maybe should have been an interception. The unnecessary roughness on the field goal was bad. But unfortunately, the Ravens take the loss. So now the Steelers control their path to the playoffs. They're versus Miami on Monday night, at Detroit, at Cleveland, and versus Baltimore again. So win your next 4, you're obviously in. But the Ravens can also win out because of that game, alas, against them. So good news for them, you're still not out of it. If you win out, you're in. But another simple path to get in is for the Steelers to lose to Detroit, and then you go into Cincinnati and beat them this Sunday. And then you have to win one of your next 2 versus the Patriots or at the Packers and hope the Steelers lose to the Lions and then get revenge against the Steelers at home to win the North. So the season is not lost for Baltimore.
I'm shocked that the Steelers won this game a little bit. I mean, Brent touched on it a little bit this week of Lamar doesn't look like Lamar, and something's still bugging him, but it's so crazy that the Ravens are going to 6-7, as well as this team that, I was waiting for somebody to do it. Like, it's 2025 and 26, we'll get rid of it, except for one specific day. We won't get rid of it for sure. But, 6-7 are the Ravens, as is this team that Brent's going to touch on. The AFC is wild this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get into this, though, do Steelers fans still want to fire Mike Tomlin? Because if they do, I mean, I'll take him. Because that's just absurd to me. I don't understand. Every single year they call for this man's head, and all he does is go 500 or better. You can't ask for better than that. He's been the coach since like 2007. Like, that's ridiculous.
This isn't a college
coaches at the Super Bowl too. So
this isn't a college football program. Like, I don't think people understand that. At a college football program, if you're an Ohio State and you're going over 500 to Penn State, whatever. This is the NFL, and if you make the playoffs every year, you're doing something pretty okay.
And you haven't had sustainable quarterback play since Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is yes, he's a great, but he is definitely not playing like a great right now.
No.
So you're winning games despite the quarterback. It's just absurd. I don't understand it personally, but we can move on. I have the Texans at the Chiefs. Going into this game, the Chiefs were favored by 5. I knew the Texans were going to win going into this game. Final score, Texans 20, Chiefs 10. Sunday night in Arrowhead, it felt less like a regular season game and more like a power shift. The Houston Texans, they walked into Kansas City treating it as just their next game, but they walked out looking like the team nobody wants to see in January. CJ Stroud, threw for 203 and a score. Nico Collins torched Kansas City for 121 yards. And Dare Agunbowale punched in the go-ahead touchdown. But let's be honest, guys. This game was about the Texans' defense. The NFL's #1 unit put on a championship-level masterclass. In my opinion, the best defense in the entire league. Yes, better than Denver. Yes, better than Seattle. This Texans defense is championship caliber. They held Patrick Mahomes to 14 of 33, 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. The worst offensive showing of the Mahomes era outside of a few rare outliers. Kansas City mustered just 98 first-half yards and got shut out in the first half for only the second time in Mahomes' regular season career. Houston suffocated them. That wasn't a fluke. This was domination. This was identity football. And with the Texans winning their 5th straight to move to 8-5 and stay on Jacksonville's heels, while the Chiefs fall to 6-7, their worst 13-game start since 2012. You have to ask the question, guys, was this the funeral of the Chiefs dynasty? Because one team looked like they could be championship caliber, and it was not Kansas City on Sunday night.
It feels so weird saying it, like with how dominant this Kansas City team has been. But you have 4 more games. You have the Chargers, the Titans, the Broncos, and the Raiders. The Titans and the Raiders are free passes, right? There's 8 wins for you. If you lose those, you really don't deserve to be here. Luckily for the AFC, the NFC is dominating everybody they play.
Yep.
It's a known fact of the game I'm about to talk about that you can be the first team in the NFC and lose, and you're the 7th seed. That's how many W's are on the board unless you're the NFC South. In the AFC, that wild card is wide open, and one of the teams that it is wide open for, the Indianapolis Colts, really aren't relevant anymore. I'd be shocked if that team makes a playoff push at this state.
I will say the tiebreaker there does go to the Colts, but like you said, I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Colts, I don't know what their schedule is, but if they play anyone mediocre to good, they're probably going to lose that game just given the quarterback situation. But the Texans lost the tiebreaker to the Texans. They lost the tiebreaker to the Chargers. They lost the Colts, the Bills,
to the Texans.
Like they've lost to all of these AFC teams. They've lost to the Jaguars.
Yep, they lost to the Ravens.
It's absurd. I mean, you can't lose these games and expect to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make it this year. It's not the end of the dynasty because Mahomes and Andy Reid are still there, but they're not good this year and they're not going to make it. And I don't know what that says about the future. Travis Kelce's on his last leg.
He's preoccupied.
Something's got to change in Kansas City because it doesn't look good this year.
I mean, you're already 2 games behind the wild card. Every team in front of you, we just mentioned it, Chargers, Bills, Texans, Colts, you lost to all of them, right? And you're already 2 games behind. So really you're 3 games behind all of those teams with 4 to go. You need to go through a gauntlet of a stretch here. Hope the Colts and the Texans really lose out. They can only win 1 more game apiece. You can't win the division. The Chargers are 3 games ahead of you. I mean, I'm not sure what the odds are, but they have to be very, very, very bad.
Yeah, they're not going to make it because the Texans are too good. Honestly, They're not going to lose out. There's no way.
The AFC is just an interesting bunch. We could talk all day about it, but we'll talk about the NFL playoff picture here probably sometime next week as we get closer to everybody's favorite playoff predictor. Everybody loves that little tool, but we have the Green Bay Packers. They take control of the NFC North with a 28-21 win to take the Bears down. So the Bears did go down, they're saying a little bit. But talk about Chicago, talk about Green Bay. Packers snap Chicago's 5-game winning streak. Green Bay, Jordan Love had 3 touchdowns and a pick, and Christian Watson on the end of 2 of those. Caleb Williams looked horrible, like downright bad. 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Lambeau is just not kind to him. The bright spot, DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai looked well, 27 carries, 120 yards. But I didn't really pick this game for the full portion of how big of an NFC North game it was. It's the fact of the matter of how teams shift so quickly in the NFC. Chicago, thank you to the Carolina Panthers, beating the LA Rams before their bye week, which how in the heck did that happen after watching the Rams performance this week where they can score and fire at will, right? The Packers bounced up to number 2 in the NFC, and the Bears, who were in straight control of number 1, are the last wild card spot. This is ridiculous. And the Lions quickly sniffing on their tail. This is nuts.
The NFC race is crazy. The fact that you can go from number 1 to number 7 in 1 week is wild. I think the Bears are a good team, but I think there's a lot of good NFC teams. So I don't know if they're a guarantee to make it, honestly, but I hope they do.
No, they're not at all.
A good story.
They're not at all. The Rams are at 1-10-3. The Seahawks, who I think is the biggest poser of a team in this entire NFC race, are 10-3. The Packers having that tie is really going to help them down the line with seeding. You have the Eagles at top, they're 8-5, and then you're going to have the NFC South winner, right? The Buccaneers or the Carolina Panthers. They will be at the 4. They'll lose the first round game. It's whatever. And then you have Seattle, San Fran, Chicago, and Detroit is 8-5 and on the outside looking in. Just absolutely bonkers. An 8-5 Lions team who should debatably be the best team in the NFC, right? This is stupid. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. One thing that we haven't talked about, I feel like, and I don't know if we'll get it. We probably won't get into it at all today, but I feel like the Cowboys could have a chance to sneak in as well. They could win the NFC East.
I was gonna say at this point they have to win the division. It feels like
I wouldn't say it's a lock for the Eagles the way they played Monday night, but it's an interesting race for sure.
Yeah, I'll just simplify that a little bit. Eagles schedule: Commanders twice, Ravens, and Bills. So I would hope that 3 of those are wins, but who knows at this point?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm just focused on one thing and one thing only. Somehow trying to beat Tyler Shuck in New Orleans. I am terrified. I am. It's that simple, boys. Let's make sure that our clients over here at the Sports Outlet Show make some money. Brayden, best bets. I know you got 2, and Brent will turn it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to thank you for the transition talking about the NFC North. Both of my picks are involving the NFC North teams in this race for the NFC North and the NFC in general. I have the Bears -7.5 versus the Browns. I think they're going to have a bounce back. Credit to them last week. You can't put too much blame on them. When is the last time Chicago won at Lambeau? It doesn't happen very often. So they're going to bounce back and they're going to beat the Browns. And then the Lions +200. They're going to beat the Rams. And I'm going to tell you why. I know Joe's going to talk more about this game later. But Joe, you mentioned they're on the outside looking in. They cannot lose too many more games. And this continuation of the Stafford versus Goff saga is a good time to pick up a huge win here for the Lions.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, not just because it's the Rams, but this game sets up such a massive week. I guess it's 18 now for the Lions, right? You have the Rams, then you face the Steelers at home. That should be a win. You play the Vikings, and week 18 versus Chicago. There's a reason that game does not have a time yet, because it could be Sunday Night Football for the chance at a playoff spot, or the division, or XYZ 1 seed at the same time. So, Brayden, huge game. You're correct. I'll dive into it here in a bit. But Brent, you've got a couple as well.
Yeah, the first one I'm going to go with is one that might sound a little bit crazy, but you got to hear me out here. I like the Commanders' money line at the Giants, even without Jaden Daniels. I think the Giants are coasting to the finish line. They know that Mike Kafka is not the permanent head coach there. I don't know if you guys have been watching any of the in-season Hard Knocks for the NFC East, but The clips of the Giants do not look good. I saw one of this past week. I think it aired last night. Mike Kafka speaking to some of the players, and the players just do not look bought in at all. I think coaching matters in this one, and I think Dan Quinn gets a win over the Giants. My next one is Cowboys -5.5 versus the Vikings. The Cowboys have looked like a much, much better team the past few weeks. Making that addition for Quinn and Williams has really solidified the interior of that defensive line. And obviously didn't go their way Thursday night last week against the Lions. But as Joe mentioned, the Lions are a really good team, and also on the outside looking in. But this is also desperation time for the Cowboys as well. And I think they get a massive win over the Vikings this week.
Just so you fellas are aware, you combine those 4 picks together, $10 pays out $234 for you. So if you need a little money for Christmas, Santa, Brent, and Elf Brayden got you covered. Brayden, you're younger. Sorry, you had to be the elf.
It's okay. It is what it is.
Elf on the shelf, drinking Mad Elf. What else could you want?
Can't complain.
There you go. Brent, I'll make sure you get your milk and cookies, but it's really going to be Bailey's and Jaeger.
Okay.
There you go. So I'll make sure I take care of everybody here for you. But Brayden already mentioned it, so we'll waste no time and dive in here. This is America's game of the week, Lions-Rams, an 8-5 Lions team traveling over to SoFi Stadium, a 10-3 Rams team. Rams are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC. Lions are currently the first team out at number 8. The Lions need to rely on 2 guys, and their names are Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That is, you need to fight fire with fire. I don't care what defense shows up. You can sit down on every play for the defense. You need to outscore this Rams offense, and that is harder said than done. You want to learn how to do it? Watch the Panthers game tape. You're welcome, Dan Campbell. But Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,000 rushing yards already on the season, 13 touchdowns, 16 total touchdowns, and over 1,500 total all-purpose yards. This kid's a freak. He's an amazing, amazing athlete. And then you have to try and cover Amon-Ra St. Brown. 81 catches, 976 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Now, in my opinion, these defenses, they're both pretty bad, to say it bluntly. But Detroit, Dan Campbell, they need to be aggressive, and that's what Dan Campbell does best. If you are in no man's land, guess what? You're going for it. If you are in field goal range, guess what? Don't take it. You're going for it. That's the Dan Campbell way. And this is, a lot of people talk about analytics, models, whatever, data. Dan Campbell, this is where your aggression needs to pay off, because you cannot give this Rams team the ball back. It doesn't matter if it's on the 20. It doesn't matter if it's the 50. It doesn't matter if they're standing on their 1-yard line. They can score a touchdown at any given second. That is all thanks to Matthew Stafford. 3,354 yards passing, 35 touchdowns. 35 touchdowns. We're in week 14. 35 touchdowns for the guy. This offense is ridiculous. That's not even counting Kyron Williams and Blake Corum in that rushing attack. He also has 4 interceptions, 35-4. 35-4. You can thank Carolina for half of those.
True.
Then you have the best wide receiver duo in football. You have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. 93 catches, 1,186 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Nope, that's not them combined. That's Puka. Devontae Adams, 56 catches, 718 yards, 14 tutties. He should have had 16, if maybe even 17. He was missed a couple times on Sunday afternoon, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever the over is, add 15 points and take it. Add 50 points and take it. I don't know what it is, but this is going to be such a fun game to watch, and not just because it's Stafford versus Goff once again, but 2 of the most dynamic, most elite offenses going head-to-head on the turf. Let's play some football. I do think that this Rams offense is overwhelming. I do think Dan Campbell is too aggressive. and you cannot turn the ball over against this Rams offense. They will make you pay. I have the Rams 41, Lions 31 in an absolute shootout.
I hope that happens. It'd be a great game.
Yep. I hope so too. But Brayden, let's travel over to Mile High.
Yeah, another big game here. It doesn't have too many playoff implications, maybe just some seeding situations there, because both of these teams are all but guaranteed to make the playoffs. No teams have fully clinched yet, but the Broncos are about as close as you can get. They have a greater than 99% chance to get in and actually have the highest percentage for the number one seed in the AFC at 45%. So they're playing for a bye. The Packers have a 94% chance to make the offs and a 70% chance to win that division after that huge win last week against the Bears. The Broncos are currently on a 10-game winning streak. 8 of those games were by 7 points or less. 7 of those games were by 4 points or less. I'm not sure how sustainable that's going to be in the playoffs, but as of now, they keep finding ways to win. That's largely due to their incredible defense, top 5 in just about every metric you can think of, leading the league in sacks with 55, which is 11 more than the Browns, who are in second place. So about half of those are Myles Garrett anyway. So
I would say 75%, but yes.
Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, and John Franklin Myers each have 5+ sacks. Nick Bonito, I believe, has 12.5, leading them. For the Packers, Jordan Love is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league. So one of those guys might have trouble getting to him, but we'll see. Especially when his whole offensive line is healthy, especially Zach Tom. He's a huge, huge piece in that offense. The Packers have won 4 straight, including 3 straight divisional games, a large reason of why they're heavily favored to win their division. Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary have 20 sacks combined, accounting for 61% of the team's total sacks. They'll have to find a way to bring down Bo Nix, who is the least sacked quarterback in the league, who has started all 13 games. The Packers will need to be dominant if they want to win here, because I'm not sure the Broncos are capable of losing a 1-score game. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Broncos are going to win another tight one, 28-24.
I love it.
Can we talk about this weekend's slate of games?
I
know we currently are talking about it, but like, can we talk about it? It's incredible. It's going to be such a fun Sunday of football. Absolutely wild. But let's keep it going here to just another incredible football game that's going to be happening on Sunday. Brent, take me over to Foxborough.
Yeah, another really, really good one with massive playoff implications on both sides.
Yep.
Buffalo comes into this one at 9-4, sitting 6th in the AFC playoff picture, and fresh off one of those most impressive fourth quarter wins we've seen this season. What they did to Cincinnati, especially in those final minutes of the game, was incredible. 2 straight interceptions off Joe Burrow. That never happens, boys. And keep in mind, the Bengals were up 10 less than 5 minutes before that meltdown. So Buffalo flips the entire game on its head and capitalized like a true contender. New England, meanwhile, coming off a bye, but before that, they absolutely dismantled the Giants on Monday Night Football. 30 points before halftime, 33-15 final. It was not close. And the story continues to be Drake May. Drake May, now second in MVP voting. And honestly, if it wasn't for Matthew Stafford, he'd have a legit argument for first. Second in the league in passing yards with 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, and he's led the Patriots to an 11-2 record and the number 2 seed in the AFC. And here's what's on the line, boys. If the Patriots win on Sunday, they clinch the AFC East for the first time in the post-Brady era.
Wow.
They can also clinch a playoff berth in about 6 different scenarios. I'm not going to dive into all those because there's a lot of like ties and a bunch of crap in there. But bottom line, New England is going to the playoffs probably this week. This is no fluke season for New England. Now, the last time these teams met, Week 7 on Sunday Night Football, the Patriots shocked the Bills in Buffalo 23-20 in a game where the Bills were favored by 8. Since then, let's be honest. New England's schedule has been pillow soft. Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Jets, Bengals without Burrow, and the Giants.
It's been horrible.
That's a cupcake schedule. That might be the easiest 7-game stretch any team has gotten this year. One of the easiest stretches of all time, actually, if you look at the statistics behind it. Buffalo, on the other hand, has been battle tested, and I still personally view the Bills as one of the best teams in the league, even at 9-4. So what gives? On one side, you've got the Bills, explosive, experienced, and coming off a confidence-boosting comeback win. On the other side, you've got a Patriots team that's young, efficient, incredibly well coached, and playing with a swagger we haven't seen in Foxborough since 2018. Mike Vrabel deserves his flowers. What he's done in 1 year with this roster is remarkable. Gives me hope as a Giants fan that maybe we can turn it around as well. Despite all the playoff math, the soft schedule talk, and my genuine belief that the Bills are still a top-tier team, I think something is different about this Patriots squad. I think they have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl, and I'm gonna give the edge to the Patriots in a tight one, 27-24.
I think this game's going to be a true testament of Drake May and Mike Vrabel and this actual team. Because Brent, you kind of hit on it. They've played a cupcake schedule ever since. I mean, they've taken 10 straight dubs in a row.
Yeah,
which is immaculate in itself. It started with the Carolina Panthers, right, back in week 4. So it's really going to be interesting to see. But I can never go against Josh Allen. I don't think the Bills smack him in the mouth, but I think it's going to be a wake up call for Drake May and company.
We'll see. But I will say, like, we could talk about the schedule all day, but like, you put up other teams in that schedule. I don't know if they're getting 10 straight wins. It's really hard to do in the NFL. And I love Drake May. I mean, that's the guy I wanted the whole time leading up into that draft. Obviously, we fell way outside of that range. I think we fell to number 6. We tried to trade up for him. It didn't work. But he has been awesome and would be the obvious MVP if it wasn't for Matthew Stafford.
Brent, I like you giving flowers to Mike Vrabel here. He was done dirty by the Titans, and I don't know how he didn't get scooped up immediately. I don't know why he had to sit on the couch for a year. Just a pure football guy. He's awesome.
He's definitely a Dan Campbell type for sure.
Exactly.
Players coach, players love him. But that's all we have here tonight. But before we close, inside original founding father, Chris Naylor is reporting from the sidelines, getting reports of Kalen DeBoer to Michigan. And do we care to comment? I mean, this thing happened 5 hours ago, so I'm going to take a night to sleep on it. But I don't know why you'd leave Bama's resources for Michigan. I could see it, though.
That would be absolutely insane, and just honestly the perfect way to cap off this just monster, insane carousel that we've seen.
Yep. Saban would come back to Alabama. It would happen. That's the only thing. But awesome. Thanks everyone for hanging out here with us on the Sports Outlet Show. Final podcast for 2025. Not ever, I promise. Just 2025 for the Sports Outlet Show is going to be next Wednesday, December 17th at 7 o'clock. We'll take Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve off to be with family and loved ones and celebrate the Christmas season as everyone else does. But we'll be back the week after that, giving you all your coverage here at the Sports Outlet Show. So don't worry, we'll make sure. And who knows, maybe you should come next week. There might be a giveaway involved. If you stay till the end of the podcast, you get the inside scoop. It's that simple. Yep. But Brent, Brayden, thanks for all your hard work as always. Thank you, everybody that tunes in the Sports Outlet Show. This is one of my favorite ones we've done. I'm super pumped for next week, and maybe I'll be in a Santa hat. Who knows? Could be fun, but
I don't know if I have one.
Walmart's 10 minutes away, Brent. 10 minutes away. But that's all for us here on the Sports Outlet Show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on your Wednesday nights. We appreciate you as always, and we'll see you next week, same time, 7 p.m. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Good night.